Hi everyone, welcome back. So today I'm going to be talking to you about how much money I've made in my very first year of self-publishing, how many books or stories did I publish in that length of time, and where I made my money. So I'm going to first start out with the only things I published within this year were on August 8th of 2019, I published my debut novella. It was Spellbound. And the second thing I published within my first year was within like the last couple months of the year, and it was just a short story called War of the Twin Swords for a completely different series. The second book actually isn't out yet. It's coming out right around November of this year in 2020. So now that we've gotten that out of the way, here's what I made and how I made it. The first thing I want to mention is the Amazon platform. With Amazon, I have made $98.33 on Amazon. Of those $98, $93.04 were from Spellbound. I made about 81 sales, and I did quite a lot of promotion as well, so this was with advertisements and other things. And about 2,811 page reads. And for War of the Twin Swords, which was the second thing I published, the short story, I have made 16 sales, or I made 16 sales by August 8th of 2020, and that ended up coming out to about $5.29. So I had a couple dollars in there that were from page reads. I also have my print books on Ingramsparks for both Spellbound and for War of the Twin Swords. And for Ingramsparks, I sold a total of about 9 copies within that first year. Some of these were bookstores that I personally went to, talked to the owner, I gave them some bookmarks, and I ended up getting a couple of sales from that because they bought the copies for their bookstore. I'll mention the names of them and post links to the bookstores down below. One of them is Bookseller and the other one is Classic Bookshop. They're both in the South Florida area, in the kind of West Palm Beach-ish area. The next source of income I want to mention is anime cons, and this was one of the biggest sales days that I personally had. And basically what I did is I went to an anime con, I had a table with lots of books out, and with some bookmarks and other things as well, and I sold those. And I ended up making about $112.50 from my 2 days at the Anime Con, which comes out to roughly 25 print copies that were sold. And then in addition to the print copies, I also ended up selling a few ebooks as well. The other things that I did, which I didn't sell nearly as much, were from library events. I had one that was a really, really tiny library event. Only a handful of people ended up coming, and another author ended up buying my book. So I sold 1 copy there and got about $4 from that sale. And then the second one, I saw a lot more people, but I still made just 1 sale. I wasn't allowed to have the books in my booth. The books were actually being sold by a bookstore somewhere far away from the booths, but I did get a couple of newsletter signups and got to meet some people, which was awesome. So I made about $1.05 from that event. So I did a couple in-person events, but the only really successful one I had was with the anime convention. The next source of copies sold that I'm going to mention is work. I had a couple of coworkers who wanted to buy the book, so I sold it to them. And I sold 3 copies that way and made $13.50. I sold 1 copy to my neighbor, and that was $4.50. And I sold 24 copies to family and friends or to my family's clients at their business. And I made about $108 that way. And then as far as friend copies go, I sold 2 copies to friends and ended up making $9 that way. And my total for my first year was $355.88, and this is just from the copies sold. This does not factor in the amount that of money that I put into making the book and promoting it, paying for the booth, etc. I break down all of my publishing costs in one of my other videos, which I'm going to go ahead and link up above here, so you can check it out if you want to know more about that. But I hope this gave you a really good idea of what to expect in your first year of publishing. Don't be discouraged if you didn't sell a ton of books in your first year. It's actually pretty common, especially for self-published authors. Fun fact, average amount of copies sold for a self-published author, 250 copies in their lifetime. Not to be discouraging or anything, it's just more of like, there's going to be people that are way above it, and then there's going to be people that are way below it because they're not doing any promotion at all. If you aren't really successful right away, don't be discouraged. It's actually pretty common to not sell a ton of books, especially in your debut year. Usually you tend to build that following over time and start gaining more sales as you build your audience. But that's all I have for you today. If you liked this video, go ahead and click that like button and subscribe to my channel down below. And let me know, how did your very first year of publishing go? Was it higher than your expectations, or did you end up being kind of disappointed with how it went? All right, thanks. Bye.